All right, welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to be installing Pika OS. This distro is actually based on Debian. Any of you Debian or app users out there, this one's kind of for you to be able to install like Niri, Hyperland, and different window managers. It's a great distro to do so. And I'm just going to go through the installation and just kind of check out the entire configuration. So you guys here today pretty much just hear good things about Pika OS. So I don't expect anything to be too bad here. And we're just going to run through the installation process and select our keyboard and time zone. Yes, do automatic partition this drive. I don't want to do any of that. No disk selected. Let's select a disk. And then it's just going to go through the installation summary. I need to confirm and install Pika OS. And we're installing. I kid you not, that was probably the fastest installing distro that I've ever seen. It literally took maybe, I don't know, I swear it's less than a minute. Normally these things take, 5 to 10 minutes to install, but that was crazy. So we're just going to reboot. I love when they add the touches with like the Pika OS at the bottom and the little egg. It just, I don't know, it just makes your system feel complete, like it's, an actual Pika OS system. All right, so now we are back into the system here, and it comes with like the little hotkeys option that normally pops up when you first install Niri. You can disable this in the actual configuration, but it's kind of nice just to have all of your information and everything shown here. So the launcher is Super D. Security is super enter. So some pretty, standard, I guess, basic options here. Focus column, super left, right. Okay, so yeah, here's the welcome guide here. So, okay, so I guess I see why the installation was so quick, because we actually didn't, go through any of the user setup process or any of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add all this. Let's just call this the test. Let's go ahead and update the system. All right, update. Well, this is 100%, but it's still doing stuff. Just click. Okay, it's not done. They're 100%. Am I 100%? Not quite the same thing. Oh, it says 100% here, but it says 99.8% up here. Maybe this is just use the the same value for both of those. But all right, now we're up to date. Available hardware drivers. It's actually really nice that it detects everything. That this is an ASUS laptop, but this is a ASUS hardware. So it's nice that it detects that and has all the available drivers and everything that you can install. It looks like I just have the Mesa ones installed now, and then I can install these optional ones down here as well. So we're gonna skip driver installation for right now, just because I'm doing the review. And then I can install media codecs. Let's just go ahead and install it. All right, cool. So it says 100%. It says 100% up here, but it says 169 out of 185. So it's actually not done. They need to work on their percentages here. But if that's the only issue that we have, then we'll let it be. All right, now it's completed. That actually sat at 100% for a while. It wasn't actually 100%. Gaming packages. I'm going to skip this one, but it does have some essential gaming packages for you to be able to game on Pika OS, which is really nice to have. And it looks like my initial setup is complete. I need to reboot again. All right, we're back to the login screen. Oh, it looks like they're using Lie as the login screen here, which is actually pretty cool. I do like that. Gonna authenticate, and we're in. And then so the welcome guide, it looks like it has some, extra options as far as like look and feel, get new icons and themes, recommendations, install game utilities, extras, Kden Live, Microsoft True Fonts. So they have a few extra things that you can, just install very easily right out of the gate here. And then you have next steps. So it's very similar to like a Nobara feel as far as like this actual welcome thing here. So We're going to just disable that for startup and go ahead and get rid of that for right now. And let's take a look at their wallpapers. Actually crack me up. So yeah, so let's go to the right-hand side here. This is like the dash. I'm not in London. It's just picking that up. I'm sure you can change that. And it says dawn, system update, or system uptime, 1 minute. You have your media. This is very, quick shelly dashboard here. So let's go and hop into settings. And so it looks like you can change the actual, face. You can change the rounded corners. So if you want to show corners or no corners on the straight there. And they do actually have a dock available. Show dock. Nothing seems to be happening there, but I'm not sure. Maybe there's some additional settings you have to set up for that to work. So we can go over to the bar, and you can just disable and re-enable things. Show taskbar as far as what apps are running currently. And then so here's the time and weather. We can change the the city. You can use the 12-hour clock instead of that's what I'm used to. So we'll go ahead and change that. U.S. style date as well. So now all that shows. And looks like it has a built-in screen recorder as well. Not sure what it's actually using here for this recording. It might be like that GPU screen recorder option. I get Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and you have display. If you want to display the the dock, the bar, and everything on which displays that you want. I only have one display connected, so that's why it's only showing the one right now. Change the wallpaper. You can have it randomly change, and you have the theme use the wallpaper as the theme. It looks like it's using SWWW to actually run the theme itself, or not the theme, but the wallpaper. And then underneath miscellaneous, you just have the radio. So they don't have a bunch of customization here, but they have a good bit that you kind of just change the quick shell and some of the things at the top there. So it looks like if you go in the top right hand corner, that is bringing up the overview, but I don't have anything on either one of these right now. So let me actually just bring up terminal and then go on the top. So it's showing the overview here. So I can bring up another terminal on the other one. So you can see the the overview showing there. And then it has the updater icon here. You have your Wi-Fi. We have notifications and notification history. All pretty standard here. You have your volume with your input and output options here to be able to set that. So it looks like it's a pretty cohesive and fleshed out design here. And then if we go to the bottom, we see we have the start recording and wallpaper. And then we have power saving, profile. So yeah, this is so mainly if you're on like a laptop or something, you want to set the actual power profile down there. But let's actually look at what the Niri configuration is looking like. So we should be able to let's see if it's. Looks like our wallpaper just changed. Pretty cool. Nano dot. I'm assuming this is where it'll be located. Okay. So yes, it is. And so so they just have the Pika bar, showing by default, hyper idle, and then the wallpaper, daemon showing there. They have a few very minimal window rules, set up and stuff like that. So they honestly didn't change, too much of the actual configuration. So it's kind of like a base, configuration that you have here, and then you can kind of, update it and change it to, fit what you want. So there's not a bunch of crazy stuff going on. And then they have some pretty standard keybinds as well. And that's the end of the config. That's actually super basic. It actually seems even more basic than the like when you initially install Niri on from scratch. So they really like simplified config and the actual environment itself. So overall, it's a pretty good job, and especially if you're on Debian, I don't think you have a better option than Pika OS. Their configurations are kind of like the best that you can get, and while getting like up to date, because it's using Debian SID, so it's like it's gonna have up to date packages and drivers and stuff like that. So if you are looking to game and you're on Debian and you used to apt and that type of package manager and everything, then this is kind of the way to go. Especially if you want a window tiling manager like Niri or Hyperland, I would definitely go with Pika OS. It's definitely a good choice. So overall, I definitely think Pika OS is a good option for you. That's something you're looking for. Definitely go for it. I'm more of an Arch user myself, so I'll probably stick to what I have on Casio OS. Yeah, so if you've been enjoying my content, please consider liking and subscribing. If you want to support me and my channel, you can support me through YouTube memberships or through my Patreon. I'll have both of those in the link below. But otherwise, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.